going to run you through a little time-saving feature that, again, it's something that maybe you don't use enough, or maybe weren't even aware it was there, or maybe the flexibility of what it could do. It's called the Transaction Finder. It allows you to find a transaction really, really easily. If you press Control T, what that does, that pops up the Transaction Advanced Search. What this will do is it will search through all sorts of transactions, so whether they're things like debtor receipts, maybe workshop invoices, parts invoices, other transactional things, payments, all sorts of transactions that happen in the system, it will search for them. Let's say we've got an example where a customer rang up and say, oh, order number, such and such, forget what the order number was, but I remember it had 247 in it or something like that, right? So if we type in 247 and go search, what that's gone and done is it's gone and searched for wherever 247 has existed in the transactions. You'll notice here that this order number has got RC52477. So in this instance, it's actually found it by the order number, but it could have been in a number of different places in the system. So it could have been in the actual description of the product, it could have the description of the transaction, I should say, in the comments that you put on the transaction, anything like that. If you double click on this transaction, it'll actually open up the transaction. You can edit on it, reprint it, do whatever you would normally do for it. So let's just run that transaction finder again. I'll show you, if I want to search for grinding, let's say, what this transaction here, I've written in the comments that the brakes are grinding, and I've remembered that in the comments I wrote that. So what I can do is I can click on, select or double click on the transaction, and it'll open the transaction. So once the transaction's opened, you'll notice if we have a look under the notes here that this says brakes now grinding. So I've searched for grinding and it's found grinding in the notes. But of course you could search for anything that you wanted to in any of the notes. So it searches for things like the repair order notes, the invoice notes. It searches for notes on the other types of transactions as well. It'll search under order number. It'll search the description of the actual transaction as well. So it searches in a number of different places within the transaction to find whatever word you're looking for, and it does a word search within the actual text that is in whatever field within the actual transaction itself. So really quick and easy way to find a transaction if you might just know a snippet of information about a transaction, and can be quite useful for finding a transaction without you knowing a whole lot of information about it. Hope that's been valuable for you, and you can see some great value in what that can do for you if you started using that particular function.